and now McAndrew at Redsius. Dwight with 3 fouls, Mirich and McAndrew with 2 fouls apiece, so the centre's really using them up. And Redsius with 18 points in the first half, 7 boards, and just a machine. He's automatic almost from the free throw line. He's had 1 miss.
I think he's tuned into that crowd. I don't think he's going to miss too many this half.
42 points apiece, and Redsius with 20 of them. Stop Redsius and stop Greece, but it's a very difficult task.
I think they need to go in the locker room to talk about it. Mate, I don't think they'll be able to stop him this half.
McAndrew, it's McGregor not able to make it with the left-handed hook, and a reach-in foul against Aaron Trahair, and Redsius is going to walk all the way to the other end to shoot a pair and give Greece the lead for the first time in the ball game. Trahair with 2. Have a look at it again. Here's that shot from Scott McGregor. Has it blocked. And, oh, gee, that was soft, wasn't it?
Yeah, well, he tried to get his hands out of there. I mean, he couldn't do much else. He contested the ball. The big fella had it, pulled his hands out, but I guess there's a lot of feeling out there, so just got to be careful.
So for the first time in the ball game, Greece lead the final. Redsius with 1 of 2 off the stripe. 43 plays 42. Remember, Australia jumped out to a 9-0 lead. They led at 11-2. Trahair to get the lead back, and Aaron Trahair sticks it.
Notice that time he was just that 1 dribble closer in, and he doesn't miss many from there.
4 of 9 is great shooting from outside the circle. There's that 3-point shot, and looked like a big push rebound over the back there. Kakiutsis firing off the 3. Inside pass back into the hands of Trahair, and the referee saw that contact there, and he saw that one as well, and Australia will go to the free throw line. The Greeks complaining about the first one, but plenty of bumping and grinding going on inside, and Australia will go to the stripe to try and stretch the lead again.
Yeah, I think it was a toss-up. I mean, both players collided. There was nothing really in it. They're both big boys. So for the Greeks to complain, maybe they were after a foul there. But Trahair got fouled going to the hoop. Maybe that's a make-up. Maybe the ref wasn't quite sure on that last one. So we can consolidate here with the 2 free throws.
Papanicolaou with the foul. Gordy McLeod in the timeout for Australia, and gee, what a great job he's doing. We'll see if we can pick up his comments. Just a little hard to hear Gordy there, Brad, but what a great career he had as a player, and now carrying it on as a coach.
He's done a great job in this tournament. I mean, they've gone through undefeated. A lot of people didn't think they'd make it to the semis, let alone the final. And Gordy have these boys up. He doesn't talk about too many negatives, just positive things. Says the little things.
1980 Moscow. Came out of Wollongong and played most of his NBL career with the Illawarra Hawks, and then finished it off with a few clubs. He went to Hobart, Sydney and Brisbane, where he started his coaching career as assistant under Brian Curl with the Brisbane Bullets. In fact, if memory serves me correctly, I think Gordy turned out for a game or 2 with the Bullets when they had some injury trouble. But Aaron Trahair is the man we're watching at the moment. Off the free throw line. It's Trahair who's done the job from the outside with his 4 of 9 shooting from beyond the arc. Now doing it from the free throw line. Try and give Australia this lead to take into the half-time break. 1 of 2 to Trahair, and Redsius cleans up the rebound. So just under a minute to go. Australia looking for that lead at the half, and that one falls. So a 1-point lead to Australia. Very important play right here. Perhaps 1 possession left each for the half for each team. McGregor almost turned it into a quick shot.
They want to run the 30-second.
Sam McKinnon cans a 2. And timeout called by Greece this time. So Greece to organise a last 30-second play here. Very clinical. The Greek coach looked and he hadn't used his second timeout of the half. You might as well use it right here. They get the last possession of the half and trailing by 3. How important every possession is in a World Championship final. And they're going to organise this last 30 seconds right here. It's not hard to work out where the targets might be. Look at the big number 14 sitting right there.
Yeah, well, he's been on fire in this first half. I'd actually be surprised if he can carry that form right through the game, though, because he's put in such a workload in this first half. But the Australians in foul trouble, so I guess that's what they'll do. They'll either drive or throw it into the big fella and take it to the hoop. That's where they've been getting the fouls from. They'll either end up on the line or with a good shot. But the Australians have got to try and play the defence without fouling and play tight on the three-point line, because they still will go into the half up if they can stop a three-pointer here.
I was just about to suggest Australia might press it up the floor to take some time off the clock and get Greece to use the ball up a little bit in the backcourt, and that's exactly what they're doing right here.
We'll see how they handle this press. Last time they went straight through it, having a bit of trouble this time.
They found the outlet in Kakiutzis.
Still 15 seconds left here, so plenty of time to finish up with the last shot.
It's Papanikolaou with the ball, just milking this clock down to get the last shot.
And he knows Trahair's got 2 fouls.
Very clinically done. They get the 2 points. As that last second heave goes up from Aaron Trahair, but it's Australia who leads it at half-time, 48 points to 47. If you've just joined us, we're coming from the Olympic Stadium in Athens, the World Championship final for junior men, where Australia jumped out to a 9-0 lead, and there's that last shot that came from Papanikolaou.
I mean, defensively, you can't do much better than that. Trahair had a hand right up on the shot, and that was a tough basket. But again, Australia in the lead, underdogs in the game. They've done an excellent job in this first half, and let's hope they can keep up that form in the second half.
Well, look at those first half stats, and the top is the free throw shooting, and 14 of 18 Greece against 4 of 7. It's an indication of the way they've played the game as opposed to Australia. It's been a perimeter game pretty much from the Aussies, but inside it's been Redzius going to the free throw line with monotonous regularity, and from the 2-point area, Australia's shooting at 5% better. That's a good rate, 56%, but it's from outside the arc. It's an indication of Australia's dominance in that area. 6 of 12 against 1 of 4 for Greece. The rebound count is pretty good for Australia. We're expecting them to be out-rebounded, Brad, but 2016's a pretty nice count.
Yes, particularly since a lot of the big guys from Greece have dominated early in the game. The Australians came back later in the half with some good rebounding. One interesting fact is the assists. They're showing the teamwork of the Australian team. 5 up on the assists to the Greece. They're more one-off type plays, or they're going into their money man, Rencius. And that's what Gordy McLeod will be talking about now, how to stop the big fella.
So there's the situation at half-time in the final. Australia 48, Greek 47. We'll take this big break and be back in a moment.
And welcome back, everybody, to our Sydney studios. You're watching our live and indeed exclusive coverage of the men's Under-20 World Basketball Grand Final. Final, of course, being played between Australia and Greece from the Olympic Stadium in Athens. If you've just joined us, you've missed some wonderful basketball, and the Baby Boomers with their noses in front at half-time, 48 to 47. And we'll be back to our commentators Phil Lynch and Brad Dalton for what promises to be an equally as exciting second half in just a moment. You're watching SBS Television Sport around Australia and the men's final in the World Youth Junior Basketball Championships from the Olympic Stadium in Athens. Back there shortly with the Australian Baby Boomers ahead by 1, 48 to 47. Tip-off just about to take place for the second half. Here's Phil and Brad.
Yes, thank you very much, Alan. And you notice that Simon Dwight back on the floor for Australia, playing with those 3 fouls It's what the Australians have been forced to do. Dwight out there to play Retzius. Inside they go, and the little finger roll, almost an alley-oop play from Papa Nicolau. And Greece retakes the lead. They've led just twice in the game, and there's the return with a bit more. Sam McKinnon, we've seen that twice in the game off the feed from Aaron Trahair. That backdoor cut and going straight past Kalatsis. So Australia retake the lead. Now Greece has led briefly twice. But it's a real nail-biter here. And the foul at the other end from Sam McKinnon with Papa Nicolau on the drive.
They've put him on the line as well.
But he's perhaps a little fortunate to be at the stripe, and the contact seemed to occur before he went into the shooting motion, but the referees have adjudged that he's on his way to the hoop and gets the roll. So Greece made a living at the free throw line in the first half. Papa Nicolau's been there plenty of times, as has Retzius, and a big rebound from Dwight. Scores locked up. They shift the ball to Dwight from outside, and Simon Dwight, who's had to sit on the bench virtually 13 minutes of the first half and watch everything take place before him, comes out and hits. And a reject from Dwight. Can two rejects from Dwight? That's what the Australians have been missing. Now can he reject Retzius? He forced him out of the shot and swatted down floor by Aaron Trahair. And what a tough situation for Dwight, Brad, with 2 blocks when you're playing with 3 fouls and you've got that wall coming at you. Have a look at it. There's one. Back they go. And Dwight, the Sultan of SWAT from the Canberra Cannons, knocks that one away too.
Well, he's down on his SWAT stats, so he's got to get a couple up quickly here. But I feel better already with him out there, so hopefully he can stay out of foul trouble.
Stepping all the way to the hoop is Kalatsis. Went straight through the defence. Making his first shot.
The crowd really getting into this game now.
And Brad McKinnon, from way outside the 3-point line, sticks one.
Well, every time the Greeks look like getting a little bit of a lead, the Australian boys come straight back at them.
Yes, they've only led for 1 point at a time, and by just for seconds every time. Again, it was Dwight who was there, but too many players. Kakiutzis that time comes back. Too many big people near the bucket for Australia to handle. McGregor shifts it on to McKinnon. That time McGregor. This time on the other side to Dwight. Shot an air ball that time and cleaned up easily at the back by Kakiutzis. Down the middle they come. We've got a foul. It's gone against McKinnon. That's Brad. No basket. So Brad McKinnon with his second.
As it turned out, it was a good foul because it could have been a 3-pointer. So Australia's really got to consolidate here on the defence. Kalatsis
is very quick. And they clean up the boards this time through Brad McKinnon. Shifts it quickly into the path of McGregor, and the follow-up that comes from the back from McKinnon.
Another big play by the Australians. Get that 3-point margin again. It's very important to keep a little bit of a lead so this crowd stays a little bit quieter anyway.
Let's see if Australia can make a stop and put a gap in the score. The 3-point shot there coming from Karagutis. Georgios Karagutis hits the 3 and locks it up again. They played right off him because I guess they gambled a little on that. The Greeks hadn't fired up too many threes in the first half. 2-point shot there coming from Scott McGregor and run down to get another possession. Trahair running it down. McKinnon slows it up in the backcourt, goes to Sam McKinnon on the drive. The dish off there to Scott McGregor underneath was blocked. A chance to go up again, blocked again, and falling into Greek hands. Steal by McKinnon, and we've got a blocking foul at half court.
Again, not a bad foul by McKinnon. The Greeks had the momentum, crucial part of the game. He went for the big play, but he stopped that fast break at the same time.
Phil Doherty comes in to take out Scott McGregor. Those two have shared the power forward spot well. Brad McKinnon with 3 fouls. Here it is again, just getting in front there and clipping the shoulder of Kalaitzis.
And when the Australian boys do get the offensive rebound in the paint, there's not much light there. Some big bodies to shoot over.
Kalaitzis handling the ball. He's very quick. Loves to penetrate the ball. Papanikolaou fires it up, and the rebound from Dwight. Brad McKinnon taking it to the hole. The tip in that doesn't go from Aaron Trahair. So a stop there by both teams. Down low they go. Kakiutzis on the turnaround. And Greece in front again, and Kakiutzis like a conductor with the crowd.
That's right, the crowd are right in this game now.
2-point lead to Greece, and we've got a foul. Well held up there by Sam McKinnon. And a little verbal going on between Karagoutis. I wonder if Phil Doherty speaks any Greek or Karagoutis speaks English. There it is, right under there's the shove on the end of it.
It was a legitimate good screen there, and he just didn't like it.
And a bit of a case for an unsportsmanlike there.
Well, that's what the Australians got to do. They've got to play physical with this Greek team. The Greek are a very physical team. Got to match it.
Dwight setting screens out the front. Trahair can't make it, and cleaned up at the back. Got a head full of steam, Kakiutzis. But Greece with a chance to skip away here.
That's right. The Australians have got to come up with a good defensive stop here.
3-point bomb. And the follow-up as well. A 4-point lead to Greece is their biggest of the ball game. Now this is a situation Australia has not found itself in this game. They've led it right from the start and been headed just a couple of times. Not that time for Phil Doherty. Very important minutes right here for Australia. Cleaned up at the back by Doherty, and Australia away again, looking to play the up-tempo game. And Matt Shanahan, who's come in at guard to replace Brad McKinnon, firing it off from outside to grab another 3 for Australia.
It seems like that's when they get the good shots. Even though they're early in the offense, they're good shots to take, because once the Greece get set in their half-court defence,
Sam McKinnon with the foul, just his second.
They're not giving up the Australians too many shots, except for those wide perimeter shots by their bigger players.
Timeout called by Gordy McLeod. It's not Retzius who's done the damage in the second half, but they've had other players doing a job. Greece going more to the perimeter in this second half. The Australians want to dig deep into their resources here, trailing by just 1. But they've got to be there at the end.
That's right. And Dwight's doing a good job since he's come back in the game, and perhaps slowed down Rencius a little bit.
Yeah, that's the key, isn't it? The longer Simon Dwight can stay in this game, because he's been the most effective inside man. The longer he can stay in there, the better chance Australia has.
That's right, and I think he actually is starting to intimidate some of these inside big players from the Greek team, and with a couple of quick blocks there, they thought twice, where in the first half they weren't thinking about it. They're going up strong and making those baskets.
Retzius had 20 at half time. He's been kept scoreless in the second half since Dwight's come in. So Greece with the ball from the side.
They'd have a play organised here, so the boys just got to read it. You wouldn't be able to hear a thing out there.
Retzius again. Big rebound there from Dwight. It was Doherty who picked up Retzius on the last play, allowed Dwight to rebound at the back. Inside they go to Doherty again. The pump fake to Dwight, and Simon Dwight can't stick it. And that looked to come off a Greek hand there, and that's what Trahair is querying right there. But Greece gets the ball from the end line. Have a look at it again. Looks like a last touch for Greece. In fact, two of them raffled it, and Greece get the ball back from the end line. They lead it by 1.
It's actually Doherty that's doing the good job on Retzius this half, and they've got Dwight playing off the ball so he can come in for those block shots. And there's
referee ruling forced out right there.
That's right, and you'll find this a lot in international competition. A questionable call one way, and then maybe a questionable call the other. The rest
Papa Nicolau had the appeal. You saw the difference in the perimeter game right there. Greece only fired up 4 in the first half, but they've gone with 3 early in the second from outside the circle. There's Simon Dwight, pump fake, and tried the jump hook from a long way out. Was not a good shot to try and take at that stage. Very ambitious. Dwight back on Retzius now. There he is on the turnaround and can't score over Dwight. Just the more athleticism at the back, more intimidating. All the way to the hoop for Shanahan, dealing off to Sam McKinnon. Good patience from the Australians. Trahair on a runner, and Trahair hits it and was fouled.
Aaron's just got to hang in there. He's had a couple of calls not go his way, but he's playing so well he can't let anything upset him at this stage of the game.
Now the points don't count. The push was well before the shot from Kalaitzis. Scott McGregor back in. So McGregor and Doherty getting to play together. Pull it up from Trahair. Off the window that time. A little long.
There's good defence there by Greece. Forced the bad shot. This will be a big play here. Australia's got to come up with a stop again.
They rested Trahair, and we got a foul before Retzius received. It was a good foul from Doherty to give, but it is his third.
So I think again he was a bit unlucky. It could have been offensive or defensive. It looks like Retzius pushes him off a bit here.
Doherty playing him in front, and this just a changed alignment from the Australians. In fact, it's Dwight who's gone out. I said Trahair was out, and nothing that time.
And big boards. They've got to get those rebounds to stay in this game.
Matt Shanahan looked at the 3 and goes back to Trahair. Quick shift to the other side to Scott McGregor, and can't make it go, but a big rebound at the back that comes from Trahair.
What was it?
And he's been called for the turnover. Didn't quite catch the referee's signal, but it looked like a travel call.
It's a pretty unlucky call there.
The Greek bench right up. Karagoutis leading the cheerleaders. The game hanging right in the balance here. Not been more than a couple of points in it in the second half, but that takes it out to 3 for Greece on the drive. The drive coming from Hatsis, who didn't play too much in the first half.
He's come right from the 3-point line, driving all the way in, and there was no help there. They've got to get across and help on those drives, cut them off.
Sam McKinnon challenging the defence again and drawing the foul out of Papa Nicolau. Just 2 on him. The Australians will get the ball from the side, and Brad McKinnon in for Australia. But McKinnon, Brad that is, playing with 3 fouls. In case anyone's wondering, Brad and Sam are not related. It's Brad McKinnon with the ball right here. Getting to play with Doherty, and Doherty sticks a 3 for Australia.
I noticed a couple of Greek players yelling at each other there. You've got to get out on that, one of them was saying to the other. So they're getting a bit upset with each other, which is a good sign for the Australians. But that was a give-me 3. If you can shoot that one, there was no one within 10 foot of him.
What an arm wrestle we've got going on here. The pull-up jumper They didn't go to him, and that was Hutsis. He's hit 2 in a row. We saw him take the drive down the middle and coming off the bench and making the jumper off the dribble. Australia having difficulty getting back in the lead. Sam McKinnon tips it out there, but not able to be controlled by Philip Doherty. So Greece with a chance to put a gap in the score again, leading by 2 and with the basketball. We're halfway through the second half in the World Championship final from the Olympic Stadium in Athens. And we'll have Greece going to the free throw line on the foul by Sam McKinnon. I think that's 3 on Sam.
It's bad luck there. The Greek offense is really confusing the Australian defence here. They're running a couple of cutters off those big guys down low and just bumping some of the defensive players, which is giving them those open jump shots, and also freeing up the post players, which Australia has sort of defended out of this half as far.
Simon Dwight coming back in. Scott McGregor sitting. And off the free throw line, Greece stretches the lead to 3 through Dimitri Papanikolaou. 15 points for him. Make it 16. And 4-point lead is their biggest of the game again. The crowd really starting to roar behind Greece at the moment. Aaron Trahair, each time Greece has jumped to a 4-point lead, and it's happened on 3 occasions. It's been Trahair who's come back.
And it silences the crowd too before they get too involved in this game. Now they need the defensive stop.
They've got the stop, but they've had to foul in doing it, and that will be number 4, I think, on Simon Dwight, as Retsius goes to the free throw line trying to pick up his opening points of the second half. Dwight sent into the air, tried to block one, stopped one, and then had to go to Retsius as well. And Frank Drimic being brought into the game, the youngest player in the Australian lineup. Gordy McLeod's gone for the timeout, and there's the problem they've got.
Well, he more or less had to go across there for the block because that was going to be thrown down. And I think there's just, again, confusion on the defence because of this large crowd. They wouldn't be able to hear each other talk up, and we had 2 players go to help, and that left Retsius open. And out of all the players to leave open, this is not the guy to leave open.
Efthimis Retsius, member of the Greek senior team, scoring off the line. Again, the break is 4. Who does Australia go to this time? Drimic, what a moment for him. 17-year-old, the youngest in the team, and Aaron Trahair can't do it this time. So here's problems for Australia. This game has been very tight since halfway through the first half. Australia led it 9-0, then 11-2. It's been very much basket for basket since then. And stepping to the hoop and scoring is Retsius again, starting to get it going. 25 points. Had 20 of those in the first half, and straight round Scott McGregor.
He's so hard to guard. He's got that outside shot, so you've got to respect that. And then he's got moves left and right to the basket, can use both hands, so he's got the whole repertoire.
McGregor thought about the 3 on the inside. Drimic crashes the boards, and it falls to Greece. And they've been fouled at half court. If it's Brad McKinnon, it's number 4 on him, and it is. So Dwight and McKinnon each have 4 fouls for Australia. And the problem's starting to mount for the boys in gold. Nick Miric to come back in.
They've got to find some way to break this momentum that the Greek team have got. It's going to be hard with this crowd behind them as well. All they can really do is dig in, come up with some defensive stops, and find something on attack, which they haven't found the last couple of times down.
And one of the other problems for Australia is here, because of the foul trouble, they've started to go with an alignment they've not used a lot of. They've got Drimic and Miric playing together, and neither of those players has had a lot of court time in the tournament. And that lead starting to get out. A little bulge in the score now at 8.
If either of those players pick the time to shine, now's the time.
Doherty looking on the inside. Trahair almost dragged over there. Doherty wanted the ball there badly, got it, but couldn't make the shot.
Dangerous signs here for the Australians.
Outside they go with the big 3 that doesn't fall, and a screaming rebound there from Philip Doherty. Just the stop Australia needed at that stage. Now try and convert it into some points. On the drive, Trahair arches it up, but not in, but will go to the free throw line on the foul from Kalaitzis. No real problems for him. Have a look at the drive. And a reach-in foul around the back.
They're having trouble containing Trahair. Perhaps he can be someone Australia can go to under these pressure situations. He seems to get through quite a bit.
In fact, it's not going to be shots, it's going to be Australia from the end line as Sam McKinnon steps back in. McKinnon inside to the ball, and we've got a travel call. A little extra step there from Nick Mirich. Just tried to sneak an extra step.
Yeah, he was pretty well covered that first time when he thought he was going to shoot it.
See Gordy McLeod there imploring the players to move the ball, not make the 1-2 pass offense.
That's right, and now it's got to be that good defense now. They've got to hold him out again.
Hutz is stepping his way to the hoop and scoring with a nice left-handed move, and the lead slips out to 10.
That was a hell of a move. It was a blind turn. He wouldn't have known where that basket was until he came up.
Mirich grabbed the rebound and had it stripped away from him. And Trahair with a save there just got a hand in front, or that was going to be an open layup. Appealing for the ball on the end line, but it will be Greece's ball. Now timeout to Australia, and hasn't Gordon McLeod got some problems here? With Greece taking it out by 10, they've got 20,000 people behind them here in the Olympic Stadium in Athens, and what a situation to be in.
That's right. I think all he can do is settle them down. They've been playing well. Most of the game has just been this last passage here, which let the Greeks get that little bit of a lead. Unfortunately for us, it's their ball underneath again, so the pressure's back on Australia to come up with another defensive stop.
He's got some problems as well. He's got his starting point guard, Brad McKinnon, playing with 4 fouls, and his starting centre, the only really effective man inside the paint in Simon Dwight, playing with 4. Both of those are on the bench at the moment. He just gave Sam McKinnon a quick rest and brought him back into the game. Trahair has not been off the floor, but Aaron Trahair has been playing lots of minutes in this tournament, and he's still out there. So the lineup they're going with is Shanahan at the point, Aaron Trahair in the backcourt with him, Sam McKinnon in the 3, and then you've got Doherty and Scott McGregor sharing the duties on the inside.
The Greeks have got their emotions up now. They're going to be hard to stop.
So McGregor doing the job there behind the big man. That one doesn't fall. McGregor got a piece of that. It's over the back. Grabbing at Redzius. Just way too big at the back. The 7-footer over the 6'6" McGregor.
That's right. He's a big, strong boy too. He just threw McGregor out of the way that time.
Trahair taking it to the hoop and challenging them and earning a trip to the free throw line. That seems to be Australia's best scoring avenue, to use the quickness of Trahair, McKinnon and Shanahan to try and take them on from the wing. Kalaitzis with 3. Scott McGregor can't make the three, but they are able to run it down to get another possession. They need a basket right here to stem the flow. Doherty taking them on the inside and coming up with the blocking foul that time called on Kakiutsis. Referee, I don't think it's ruled that he was squared up.
Still moving across there. I'm just wondering, on some of those penetration moves by Australia, it seems like all 5 players from Greece are coming into the paint, and if we spotted an outside shooter at the 3-point line, we might get an open shot. If you notice that last drive, Trehair, when he went into the paint, he had 3 big bodies to shoot over before he got to the ring.
So you're suggesting a little more drive and dish, because they really are clogging it up in there, aren't they?
It's pretty hard to get a shot in the paint. We've got Shanahan out there. He's a great outside shooter. Again, they're trying to take it to the hole.
Sam McKinnon having his shot blocked. I think Gordon McLeod is obviously telling Trehair and McKinnon to take every one-on-one opportunity they can come up with to try and use their quickness. But that man again, Artemis Retsius, they kept him quiet for 7 or 8 minutes in this second half, but he started to get it going again, just using his size over Scott McGregor, and that gap is really becoming a big one now. 14 points, and Sam McKinnon, there was way too much size for him on the inside then. So a very tough task for the Australians now. Kalaitis, no great hurry as they go inside and find the target, Retsius, and they fouled him over the back. It was Doherty trying to help out McGregor, and Doherty comes up with his 4th foul.
It's a big ask for any one player to guard Retsius. The way he's playing tonight, he hasn't missed many shots at all.
So Gordy McLeod has decided to play his cards and throw Simon Dwight and Brad McKinnon, each of them playing with 4. Well, he's got Doherty back on the bench now. He has 4. Now he's starting to run out of troops, but it's no good leaving Dwight and McKinnon on the bench and wondering what might have been. He's thrown them out there in a situation like this where they're down by 15 points. Retsius, what numbers there? 30 points, 16 rebounds. I don't think he'll play a long time in Greece if the NBA scouts start working on him. Frank Drimich trying to fire one from outside and not making it.
It'll be very hard to stay on your game out there with this huge following. And plus everybody in the Greek team's playing so well. There was so much commitment, so much emotion.
Terrific block there from Scott McGregor, and Australia's away again with numbers right here, and stepping to the hoop and scoring with Phil Doherty on the break. And Australia's first points in a long time. But easily they find Retsius, but it was blocked again. So 2 straight blocks from Australia.
Big block by Dwight too.
What a move there as they shift it, looking for the 3, and there's Doherty. And his shot blocked by the player coming from behind. Nothing that time. They're going to live and die by the sword. And Brad McKinnon over the back. That could be the end of him, I think. There's the block from Simon Dwight again. So Brad McKinnon fouls out of the ball game. The end of the tournament for him. But he's had a great tournament in quarterbacking Australia to this situation. He can go home feeling fairly pleased. He'll be disappointed if Australia lose this one, of course, but he can be pleased with his overall performance through the tournament.
He's played quite well tonight. He's been sort of undersized out there and trying to match it on the boards is how he picked up his 5th foul. They're playing hard right to the end. It's the only way they can get back in this game.
Matt Shanahan, the obvious replacement for him off the bench. But at the free throw line, Dimitri Papanikolaou. Australia over the limit on the fouls.
They're fairly confident too. They're not even lining offensive rebounders up.
Retzius down there near the bench. I wonder if they're going to rest him.
Not the way he's playing. I don't think so.
Papanikolaou makes the 2 and puts Australia further away. 16 points with 4:20 to play. A mountain in front of the Aussies right now. Shanahan fires off for 3 and cannot make it. And that will be Australia's ball. The appeal from Dwight was good. Retzius wanted it. So Australia need a couple of very quick hits here. They know that and they fire a 3 again, but it's just not happening for them from outside the circle anymore. Some signs of tiredness. Retzius all the way across court to Hartzis. Greece can play some keepings off right here.
Yeah, going to try and run the clock down a little bit. And plus they've got so many options here. Every one of these guys is such a great shooter.
Rebound comes from Doherty to quickly get Sam. A big 3 from Trahair.
I think he's forced a quick timeout by the Greek coach there. He thought, no, got to consolidate a bit here.
Well, they ran that clock down fairly well, but penetrated with about 12 seconds left on the shot clock, and I would think he'd want to bring it down to about 5 before they tried that, because he saw the way Aaron Trahair came back there, and it's very much safety first at the moment with under 4 minutes to play, and I'm sure Coach Georgios Froestos will be telling his team at the moment the game is theirs as long as they play it smart through to the finish. And that is use some clock, stay positive, and keep the ball out of the Australians' hands. But quick shots, well, not that the last one was all that quick, but I'm sure he wanted to use up just a bit more clock than that.
Well, I think he got caught in the air. He's looking for the dish-off pass, and then he realised that there wasn't one, and he got into a bit of trouble that last time. But they've always got that big target in Retzius inside too, if they get stuck. The Australians have just got to keep on going for those 3-pointers every time they get a chance. Perhaps set a few screens for Trahair out there and open him up for him and Shanahan on the outside.
But we saw Trahair with a quick hit, but they need a couple of those straight put together with stops, bringing the defence right up the floor.
They're trying a little bit of a trap here. There's still plenty of time here.
Greece in the box seat with the lead and the basketball and the clock working for them. Papanikolaou penetrates and gives the ball up without a shot. Now that's not what they would have wanted.
Great defence by the Australians.
Aaron Trahair again, and 2 straight 3s for Australia. Gives them a sniff of a chance. A quick foul coming from Sam McKinnon.
I think that could be his 4th foul, but he's got to go for it. They're down. There's not much time left. You've got to go for every one of those plays. Bit of a soft foul. It was on the hands, but the refs had to call it because it could have resulted in a loss of possession.
But Trahair brought that lead back from 16 to 10, and putting Greece at the free throw line, but putting this fellow there, Efthimis Retzius.
He's got to miss one sooner or later.
Well, he's missed a couple, but Australia wants him to miss a pair right here. Or at least miss one. And they've got that. But he's been such a dominant figure in this game, rebound-wise, scoring-wise, and he's got them in so many different ways. Well, they've got 2 misses and they've got the basketball. So it was the desired result right there. Matt Shanahan straight to the hole and couldn't get the foul call against Retzius.
He pinned that one on the glass, and I think after missing those 2 free fouls, he got a bit determined. He thought, I'm going to get that back.
Retzius caught a long way from the hoop and no charge call. It was Glenn Saville who came in and stood right up to him. They try and make the steal from Kalatzis. And a little mix-up in the tries to go up and block the shot from Retzius. And the young Illawarra Hawk, who's just come into the game, Dwight with the challenge.
A good foul. He's going to throw that one down again. It was going to be 2. Got to put him on the line, hope he misses another pair. He's only missed 3 shots all night from the stripe though, so Australia running out of chances here.
Well, those couple of sighters that he had just seconds ago have done him good. Australia needs a miss and a quick hit again. 31 points, 20 rebounds. What a night he's had. What a championship he's had. But that lead out to 12 again. Trahair with the little give and go on the floater and cleaned up at the back by Papanikolaou. Australia trying to pin them in the backcourt, but they've got it over the timeline.
They're just so precise under pressure.
Redsius again and misses the dunk. It was a straight out dunk and blocked again by Simon Dwight, and it is an Australian ball.
So Australia's not giving him anything. They're not giving up. They're going to play this game right out. Another big block by Dwight. And Redsius is starting to look for him now before he takes the ball up.
And it looks like they've shot the lights out here in Athens. The lights have gone out. And look at that situation. In the World Championship final for junior men, with under 2 minutes to go, the lights have gone out. Amazing situation. We'll take a look at the statistics we've got here. Brad, have you ever seen a situation like this in such a big game?
Well, it's happened too. It was because the Brazilians brought so many TV trucks down with them. They viewed the main fuse box, and maybe that's happened here tonight. I can't think of any other reason why it would have happened.
Well, we'll take a look at the stats. 85-73 is the big stat, and under 2 minutes to go. Australia will have the basketball when they come back from this. But that shooting percentage from outside the three-point line has been great from Australia in this game. 11 of 26. But 27 of 34 from the free throw line. And look at the difference in the statistic at the top. 4 of 7 Australia. And I mean, that's virtually been all Redsius on the inside, but they've played that game in the paint, have Greece, while Australia has played it from outside the three-point line.
Yes, well, it might be a good thing for the Australians here, because I'm sure Coach McLeod would relish this little bit of time to talk to his players and maybe come up with a couple of plays, free up his shooters from the outside, and it might break a little bit of this momentum and this little bit of confidence that the Greek side's got. They've got to go and sit down for 5 minutes before they go back out there. Maybe they'll lose that bit of momentum flow that they had.
47-38 the rebound count, which is pretty good for Australia. If you look at what they're up against in the tall timber of Kakiutzis at 6'10", Redsius at 7 foot, and Simon Dwight has been the effective big man for Australia, and Simon is just about 6'7", but that is a very dark picture in the Olympic Stadium at Athens.
Yes, the Australian guys have played so well. They're just launching themselves as rebounds, launching themselves at loose balls.
Well, as we look at this very bleak situation, we'll just have a look at the scorers. Trahair with 27 coming from outside the circle. He's hit 5 threes, and Redsius doing the job on the inside. And Papanikolaou's done it from the backcourt. Good scoring spread there. But with this situation here in the Olympic Stadium at Athens, we'll take this break and come back in just a moment. Well, there's that picture we're looking at in Athens, and the scoreline of 85-73. And the situation there on the screen is the points they've got from the starters and the points they've got from the bench, and not a lot in that. The bench scoring not particularly high from both teams, but the shooting percentage of Australia has dropped away a little bit in the second half as they've tried to play a little bit of catch-up. 1:57 to go. And Brad, have you been in a situation like this before?
Yes, once in the World Championships in Colombia. The Brazilians thought they were in with a shot of winning a medal. They came up against us first, and Lindsay Gaze was coaching at the time, and he said that if we were to beat the Brazilians, we had to beat them that first game to get into the second round. And it was quite some time before they got the lights back on back then, so I hope the same thing doesn't happen here tonight.
Yes, well, as you mentioned, there's a lot of strain on the system in the stadium here, and perhaps that has done it. They've maybe overloaded the system, but one of the problems we have is that it can take a long time for them to bring them back up. Once they've first got to locate the fault, and then sometimes these lights can take a long time to come up, so we could be stuck for quite a while, and you wonder what this might be doing to each team. Australia down by 12. They did have a little bit of momentum going there. They were down by 16 points, and Aaron Trahair brought them back to within 10 with a pair of 3-pointers. The clock very much against them, but you wonder who this might hurt most, Australia or Greece.
Yeah, it's going to be hard to tell until they come back out there, but at least it's going to give all the Australian boys a chance to refocus, and hopefully the way the Greeks were playing, they weren't making too many mistakes. They're taking a good shot every time. They're playing the great defence, so hopefully it'll hurt them more than the Australian boys.
So there's a good sign. Australia, or in fact both teams out there loosening up on the floor. It means that the lights mightn't be too far away, or they just want to keep warm. But we'll take this opportunity to go back to Alan Gaskell in the studio.
Yes, indeed. Thank you, Phil. While the lights are being repaired, or attempting to be repaired, at the Olympic Stadium in Athens, a couple of pieces of information in the 8 to 16. Well, if you've just joined us around Australia and wonder what's happening with the basketball, the lights have literally gone out in the Olympic Stadium in Athens. Australia down by 12, 85 to 73. The Aussies raced to a 9-point lead in the opening minutes. But in fact, looking at our pictures, they're back playing. Let's go back to Phil and Brad.
Yes, thank you very much, Alan. They're back here playing all right, and they're playing in partial light. It's certainly not the light that we had. You can see the light starting to improve, but it's very much down on what we had. But they wanted to get this game over with, and so they haven't waited till the lights have come right up. You can see we're trying to see the form of Georgios Kalatzis at the free throw line. And
this is going to be very hard for the Australians. Unless the lights come right back on, they'll need minus helmets out there.
Well, I think, as you can see by that last picture, it was perhaps the power to the television company was down a little bit, and the lights, you can see by that shot there on that camera, that the power to that particular camera is down. The lights we're getting are improving. And Kalatzis scores off the free throw line. So we've got a 13-point game, and Australia need another quick one. Scott McGregor to try and make it. Can't do that. It's into the hands of the right man here. That's a tough shot to try and make. Trahair clangs it off the iron, and McKinnon couldn't run it down, so Greece will have the ball back again. So every time Greece get possession, you'll see them try and take more and more time off the clock, with it working very much in advantage. Look at the cheerleaders.
Yeah, I wonder if they got in Sam McKinnon's way there, all those Greek players on the sideline.
A steal almost from Trahair, and we've got a foul on the play. It's against Aaron Trahair, and it's only his third, so no problem for him. But Greece will walk all the way to the other end, and in fact they're starting to do some celebrating, Retsius and Kakiutzis. And it's Mihalis Kakiutzis at the free throw line to shoot a pair on Trahair's foul.
Yeah, the Australian boys are starting to hang their heads a little bit. First time in the tournament. They're running out of time here.
Well, they're coming to the realisation that this one is all over, and the big dream is gone. But I think when they get over the disappointment, they'll realise what exactly they've done, and that is do something that no Australian junior team or Australian men's team has done before, and get to the silver medal situation. Nothing from Shanahan. Trahair for another long three. They're just firing them up at will now, as the clock coming down towards the minute mark.
That's right, they've done so well. The silver medal, there's nothing wrong with it. They can be very proud of that, and they've come up against a Greek team that's played exceptionally well tonight. They haven't made any mistakes.
Well, they finished 11th in the last World Championship. Greece maintains possession as they start to get a little bit free and easy with it now as they realise the situation they're in there. They're going to win the gold medal, but Aaron Trahair looking to stop and pop for another 3. Got fouled. So a terrific tournament for Aaron Trahair and Dimitri Papanikolaou with his 3rd foul. Trahair with a little shake and bake move there was too good for Papanikolaou. And listen to that crowd. This is a big moment for Greek basketball too, let's not forget.
That was in and out. That was inside rim, that shot there. It was a great shot.
And they're doing things right in Greece with basketball because they finished 4th at the World Senior Men's Championship in Toronto just last year. And here they are taking a junior championship and creating some kind of a dynasty here. Keep an eye on them in Atlanta. And of course in Sydney 2000, where you'll see most of these players play. Papanikolaou hits a huge 3, and what a celebratory shot that was. It's all over. Greece has won the gold. Australia has won the silver. Just have a look at the situation. How would you like to be on the bottom of that? Well, you can imagine the excitement.
The best team in the world, under 20.
And there goes the lights again. Unbelievable situation. We lost the lights for about 25 minutes. And now, the minute it's all over, down go the lights at the Olympic Stadium in Athens.
The Australians played so well. They came up against the team tonight. They were just unbelievably good. And they can hold their heads high. Silver medal's a great achievement.
The 1995 Junior Men's Champions, Greece, as they go to their fans, and a big job for the security people at the Olympic Stadium to keep the fans off the floor right here, because so many of them wanting to rush onto the floor. We've seen scenes like that in Europe before. It's been absolute bedlam. And the Australians, they've won plenty of fans over this 10-day period. Plenty of respect in world basketball. And there'll be some teams looking over their shoulder as we look to Atlanta and beyond to Sydney. So as Greece